Oh, greetings. We're just doing a days here, and Joe is here, just doing a unscripted discussion. And not sure if I'm going to take questions or not through YouTube, but um, without further ado, you guys want to say hello or say?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Totally unscripted. One of our many discussions that we've had. We just decided to go live on it today. I think we will cover a number of topics, including ascension. Ascension, what it is, from all of our perspectives. We each have a perspective to offer, so it'll be interesting to hear Ivan's and Joe's as well.
Yeah, I'll be watching the chat if I use it right. If anybody has a question.
Oh yeah,
we'll go through. We'll see how that works.
I can keep an eye on it too as well.
So yeah, this is just about ascension and yeah, your ascension update. Well, right now it's it's what it is.
It's trucking along, isn't that what you said?
Yeah, it's trucking along. Yeah, it's of course I'm almost through this cold of as some clearing out the congestion, so I should be back this week, back to normal. But anyway, I seem to work no matter what. So anyway, enough about that. As for the ascension, and we're going to talk about, we don't have any topics. We have a couple of topics that we threw out there. Probably should write them down about secret space program, underground projects. Let's get our vibration of it, what we think. As well, I can say from my point of view, as for the ascension, I think I've said this in the past, of there has to be a culture change. And if you want to go into a political, with Trump changing things, I believe that is part of the ascension, but it's much more to it than that. It's part of it. A lot of it has to do with letting go of fear. Because right now, there's a lot of fear out there. People aren't ready for aliens and all that. Their voice systems have walled them away from all that. So anyway, anybody else like to chime in or begin?
Yeah. From my perspective, this ascension is about the shift of the human consciousness to a higher point of view, and it definitely does not happen overnight. It takes time. Gaia is going through this. She's gone through this before along with us. Our energy affects Gaia. Gaia's energy affects us. It's all about the balance as well, finding the balance in that. I'm probably leaving a lot out that I know I wanted to say, but that would be the bulk of what I think the ascension is us moving to a higher thought process, a higher point of view, evolving as humans and uniting together. And I know, Joe, you have your own point of view on this, if you want to unmute and talk about yours.
Yeah, my perception of it is not much different than your guys'. It's just, I can expand on it a little bit. Right now, it's I view it as it's going through a change, a great change, and that comes a lot of fear with that. So what people have to do is eventually we have to just take responsibility and individually work on ourselves. You work on yourself, you help change the world. And if everybody took steps in that direction, because the powers on this planet are an illusion. The people actually have the power, but the people need to wake up to that power. If people would work on themselves and come to a realization of what's going on here, the world will transform very quickly. But it's like everything, it's a process. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, there'll be bad times, there'll be good times, because humanity really has to, this has been going on throughout our entire existence. It really has to be shaken down to our core. All this stuff has to come to the surface. We have to evaluate ourselves as a species, as one race, and come together. That's how I envision this all turning out in the end, going to the next level. The ascension for me is humans going to the next level. Whatever that your interpretation of that is, my interpretation of that is starting to come into having these psychic abilities, telepathy, these things becoming commonplace amongst people. And that'll unify us in ourselves, you know, being able to communicate in a different ways and wake up to the spiritual side of things and incorporate that into our, it's a technocratic scientific culture we have now. That's the mainstream idea, but we incorporate the spiritual side into that. And, you know, we can find truth in every religion in our past. You know, we don't have to throw all that away. There's some good things in there that we can take from it, and we can move forward and find out who we are, who do we want to be as humans, as a collective species, and, you know, to have true free will as a species and go the direction we want without outside influences. That's my hope for it and how I see it anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It starts with us. And once we work on ourselves, we can systematically change what's happening as far as conditioning. Our society, I don't know if you've stated this, is fear-based. A lot of what we are taught, conditioned to believe, is fear-based. You know, if you start even thinking outside of the box, or you think you could defy everything that, or go against everything that society has taught you, there's going to be punishments, you're going to suffer. A lot of that, it's designed so that we wouldn't step out of line. We would continue to manifest whatever it is the few want us to manifest so they could stay in power. It's not about creating your own reality. It's about creating theirs and being obedient. And so, yeah, there's a lot of that going on. And sending it fear and anger isn't going to help anything, actually. It's counterproductive. This is why it's important for each individual to work on yourselves, find out who you are, and then you can proceed on to changing the system collectively.
Yeah, so you don't have to be perfect, basically. Just, you know, if you put the intention out of being, you know, healed or want to be, you know, peaceful with yourself, find peace for yourself, that's very difficult. So that's a big
Yeah, that's a good point. Find peace within yourself, because there's a lot of nasty things that are going to come to the surface, a lot of chaotic things we're going to learn about ourselves and the true history of what's been going on right now. And you got to find that peace in yourself, your center, your balance, and always return to that. And if you can return to that, even in the most chaotic circumstances, you're going to be all right, because you're not going to be overwhelmed with strong emotions of like fear or hatred or things like that. When you learn these things, they're going to make you angry or feel some kind of emotion. If you find that, go back to your center, that peace within yourself, and then you can see things more clearly and handle the situation better.
I guess the main thing is forgiveness. We have to learn to forgive ourselves as well as others to move on.
Yeah, what it has to do with, you know, status, celebrity, you know, those that follow celebrities, you know, there's a lot of that. You know, oh, I follow this person on Twitter, I'm a celebrity too. I mean, everybody is a celebrity, you just don't feel, you know, you're doing it in an ego way, or the way we're taught. But, you know, to break out of that's easier said than done, of course. So that's a lot of
yeah, it's a total mindset they've instilled in us, that we worship these false things, the false, we think we have to do these certain things or have these certain possessions in order to be happy. Well, that's not true at all. That's completely an illusion. They've instilled that in us so they can maintain power over us. What we have to do is we have to totally have a new, different mindset. Don't care if don't be worried about if you're a celebrity or all this garbage. You know, just do what you feel is best. Be your best version of yourself as much as you can. And everyone fails at that sometimes, but it's not really a failure. You're learning something every time. No one is their highest doing what we perceive as our highest self all the time. We are, but we don't perceive it that way because we look back and say, oh, I wish I would have done that differently. I wish I would have done this differently. Well, no, you learned something. So you're who you are today because of those choices. Just accept it. Don't have regrets. Don't hold grudges. You know, if people have wronged you or done things to you in the past, or you see things that make you upset, well, you learn something from it. So try to take something positive away from it and let it go, because you harbor those things inside yourself. It's destructive. You're destroying yourself. It's not giving you happiness or fulfillment. It's lowering your vibration, and it's hurting you. It's self-destructive. So it's best to let it go. And that's easier said than done, but it's a process, and in time, if you really work at it, it's achievable.
Part of that's true, and part of this ascension, sorry about my cats, part of this ascension and part of working on yourself is doing the shadow work, releasing and healing the past, and also surrendering. You know, just because, you know, you can't possibly stay at a high vibration all the time. Sometimes if you must feel the lows, and it does happen, it's not, at least in my opinion, you need to like surrender to it and actually feel it. By resisting it and saying, I have to keep my vibration up, it's not really going to be helpful for your experience and for your learning and for your lessons. You know, some of the times it's possible for you to avoid lowering your vibration and keep yourself high. But some of the times it's purposely done so you can learn your lessons and learn more about yourself. You learn so much about yourself through your lessons and your low moments. So I think that's also important to surrender. That's something that I continue to work on, actually, and continue to struggle with, because I don't want to feel these low moments. So that's another aspect of the ascension.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're always where you need to be. You're where you are, where it's emotionally, vibrationally. You're there for a reason. And if you don't prefer that, analyze it, find out why. You know, learn what you need to learn, and then pull yourself out of it. You know, rise above it. Your experience, they'll reoccur in your life, these low points, whatever, until you learn why you're experiencing it. You're experiencing it because you want to learn something. It keeps coming back, drawn back into your life for a reason. So you can't run from it. You can't run from your past. You can't run from yourself. It takes a lot of courage to face yourself. That's the hardest thing. The hardest thing for me to do is to face myself. And once you do that, it's very liberating.
Yeah, definitely. It's especially when you go through, it's all in how you look at things too. If you look at it, when you go through a negative situation, it all depends on, if you look at it in a negative way, you're going to probably go through it again, depending. But more, that's not, especially with family or relationships, can be really deep wounds there, especially childhood wounds. So a lot of that stuff's very difficult. So none of us are perfect. So a lot of us are still going through a lot of this. So, it's all about forgiveness, but, it takes a while to get there. So it's basically just gotta, we're all in the same boat. Don't feel like anyone's better than you. Like, just because someone channels or is a healer doesn't mean that they don't have issues. Or Tila Swan and her, all those, I hate to say it, but she has a big following, but she has problems too, just like anybody else. And we all have our own lessons, and we're all in our own different directions. So anyway, anybody else have any to add?
Yeah, I used to loathe the word lessons, because no one enjoys a lesson, but now I'm learning to enjoy the process, enjoy the lows, enjoy the highs. I'm trying. Like Ivan said, we are not perfect, but I think that's, in my opinion, the healthy approach is to have that higher point of view and know that you're going to come out of this okay. You don't have to dwell in the negativity. You could trust, you know, your guides, your angels, your friends, your healers, whoever you feel at ease with and connecting to and talking it out. That helps too. And that also helps you connect with other people in the community. You don't have to do this alone. You really don't. There's most likely a few others that are going through the same lows as you are. And so you can find each other and heal each other as well. I think maybe like talk about the underground stuff too that's
Well,
going on.
I just had one more thing to say about lessons real quick. Yeah, I had a problem with lessons too. I didn't view it as a lesson. I viewed it as punishment. I'm like, why do I have to go through this? And I wasn't getting it. You know, it is a lesson, but it's something, it could be positive, you know. Lessons aren't always negative. They could be positive lessons. You just have to find the good in it and get yourself out of it, you know, understand things. And other people that have been through similar things as you, or they can help you. You give them their perspective on things, and it can help you see things more clearly. But it's ultimately, it comes back to you, because it's personal, tailored lesson for you. The realization has to come in your own mind. No one can give you the answers, but they can assist you in helping you through it.
I'm glad you said that because, oh, sorry, Ivan, go ahead.
No, there you
go. As far as finding the answers within, and yeah, you definitely have all of the answers. It doesn't mean that it's available to you all the time. And so, yeah, sometimes your galactic family, your spiritual family will come and help you get some of that information, if not all of it, for you to, you know, get the rest. So when you go to channelers and you have your questions, you don't all the full information because part of that work also depends on you. The other half comes from you because only you will resonate with that information. So it's designed that way for you to get part of the information and then you do the rest of the work. And that's how you also reach within and get to know who you are and discover a lot of the gifts that you have.
Yeah, a lot of the messages that come through channeling is just, yeah, just to get you going on your path, basically. To channel or to heal or whatever it is, you receive your own messages. That's really what this is. The channelers are here to assist with that. Also, yeah, I want to add about, you know, more channelers and more healers and whatever it is for, you know, to move us out of this, you know, negative direction we're in right now. The more the better. Even if you don't always agree with the messages, the more the better. It does help us change our reality to something. Because right now, where are we right now in our financial, you know, political nightmare, and depending on how you want to look at it. So, you know, so it's change is good, change is hard, but you know, the change is going to happen, and we're in that right now. So it's many that don't believe in aliens aren't ready to see one. That is for sure. Such as angels. I mean, angels are a little bit easier to connect with. They're not ready for that yet. Not ready for our guides. Not ready for a lot of things. So, you know, anyway, we got ways to go, as you can see. So, but it's good. So, you want to talk about the underground stuff? Oh yeah, I wanted to add about the, you know, this is part of the underground stuff, like the reptilians, grays, and then people just want to, you know, hate on them. You know, there's a lot of, you know, and that is a lot of healing there too, because that's not, you know, we're not perfect either. So who knows? We're probably manipulating them also in some way. You never know. So there's a lot of that to heal. Also, those who become more aware of these beings, especially when you get a message that a reptilian or a gray is messing with your energy, you'll put hate out there. I don't do that, but sometimes you do get frustrated. It's like, this is getting ridiculous. It's like, call them out or whatever. I like to do sometimes. But it does get kind of overblown of what they do to us. But either way, it's a lesson for us, but it's on how you handle it also. So you might want to jump into any of this.
Yeah, I agree. Sending a lot of fear and hatred towards a certain species like the Greys and the Reptilians and the Anunnaki or whoever definitely doesn't help the cause. It's definitely not going to help with, is it first contact or disclosure? First contact has already happened, so disclosure. And so, yeah, there is on our end a lot that we need to work on. But I think, like we've said before, just individual working on yourself, working on your fears, releasing the fears, definitely can help. Joe?
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is, sure, these aliens, they can influence us in a lot of ways. They can mess with us in a lot of ways. But what's overlooked sometimes is we influence them in ways we don't fully realize. When they're in our space, when they're mixing their energy with ours, they're taking on our energy. And if you send them hate and fear, you're just reinforcing them if they're negative beings. You're feeding them in a way. You're reinforcing their ideology. So you change that energy, they're going to absorb whatever you're putting out, and you can influence them over time. So that's a lot of things that people overlook. Yeah, they affect you in a lot of negative ways. They can mess with you in a lot of ways, but you can also influence them. And how do you want to do that? Do you want to reinforce their negativity, or do you want to help them in a way that they don't want the help? They're not asking for it, but they're in your space. So you send them positive energy, and they will absorb it, and it will affect them.
I totally agree. I don't know if I've said this live before, but I know I've told Joe and Ivan this, but whenever I encounter negative beings, the most effective way that I deal with them is, I offer them healing, or they can leave in peace. And 9 times out of 10, that works. Sometimes if that doesn't work, I ask for help. I ask for, my guides and my angels, whoever is around me, and that 100% of the time helps. They either stay for the healing, or they leave peacefully. You don't have, the minute you give them negativity, they love that. That's what they want. They want a challenge. They want, to exhaust you. That's what they want. Especially if you're doing light work, this is what they want. They want to weaken you. They don't want the ascension to happen. Even though it's happening, they want to do whatever they can to slow it down. So just keep that in mind when you're encountering these lower vibrational beings.
Yeah, a long time ago, I did a channeling when I was beginning, and I was doing a channeling for somebody, and the girl he was involved with, or whoever it was, she had her other girlfriends, and they were being manipulated by reptilians, but they're being manipulated, but they're feeding on it, and they're just following everything that they were doing. So they're enhancing it, either like negativity towards other females or whoever. It's on TV all the time, that type of stuff, the murmurs and gossip and things like that. Not to say it doesn't happen to males, but definitely with females, I saw it. I couldn't believe it. I saw a vision of like a green reptilian around them, just saying stuff, just loving it up, just having a blast with it. It's not just them, of course. There's other beings that do. So so those that are being completely negative, they're just fueling the fire, basically, what I'm gathering. So.
Yeah, they do that to get certain reactions out of people because they feed off of that kind of energy. It's the result they're going for, and then they most likely get it in most cases, you know. But once you become aware of that, you can counter that.
Oh, exactly. I was just thinking about the influence, or yeah, the influence that reptilians have in a negative way on us. And the best example I can think of is Africa. A lot of the negative or the reptilian influence is there, not to say that doesn't exist anywhere else. But one example is how male dominated most of Africa is, especially central. Women being second-class citizens, no rights, especially like reptilians like to sit on thrones, power, they like to manipulate leaders, they like to oppress. You know, a lot of the corruption in the government comes from a reptilian influence, and a lot of violence also. Especially the conflict that was happening a few years ago in the Congo between the Christians and the Muslims, just basically slaughtering each other. That's all reptilian influence. South Africa, where they were, what is it, killing the immigrants? I forget what that was called. There was a name for that condition, but that's totally reptilian controlled. I mean, they were butchering these poor people. Like brutally, brutally. That's, the reptilians love that. It's a game to them. They love to see bloodshed. So that's a lot of that culture. The barbarianism comes from the reptilian. They're like, it comes from a group of militant reptilians. This is what they do. This is what they feel like they are made for. And this is how they influence people to butcher each other. It's not a part of who we are to be barbarians, actually. Humans are extremely compassionate and loving beings, but also we are very easy to manipulate. Because we're so loving and trusting, we leave ourselves vulnerable to that manipulation. And we're ruled by our ego, so that doesn't help anything either for most of us. The reptilians love to toy around with the ego.
Yeah, they're also, I was going to add to that, but anyway, I did receive like a download about Syrians, how they're affecting our medical system really quietly. They're a little bit different than reptilians. They don't want to be seen or heard. But they do, you know, where you're, of course, I don't want to talk, you know, I'm drugging myself up, but, you know, that's probably one of the reasons why I picked up on it. Also, that, you know, they're just keep you in the hospital or whatever, keep you at a low vibration, keep you drugged up, keep you involved with drugs to keep you alive. You know, this is all opposite of what we are capable. You know, we can heal ourselves, but we're not taught that. So we're reliant on drugs. Of course, America is the biggest drug country just by, you know, so either way, it's and the drugs that we take do interfere with our vibrations, and it just fear, and it just, you know, many people are dependent on it. So it's just, I do feel that the Syrians are there. They don't like getting attention from it. I think I feel a little bit of backlash from that, but of course they don't want to get attention from that either, and realize they don't like getting attention at all. Of course, not all of them are negative, just like reptilians, not all of them are negative, but, you know, where they're, you know, this is theater for them, but they're learning from us, and we're learning from them. And a lot of it's becoming less reliant on drugs, but of course that takes a while to do. But anyway, that was pretty fascinating. There's probably more to come through on that, but I have the basics on it right now. So anyway, anybody want to talk about so secret programs, underground? Anybody want to go into any of that first? Or,
Yeah, for sure.
Want to go into Illuminati first, or what do you want to?
Yeah. Oh God, gotta love the Illuminati. I think one of you take the lead on that.
Well, yeah. Well, here I'll do an introduction of me and Joe. What through channelings, it came through as Illuminati's off planet, and there is a society of them that does feel like that. And You know, they're like the gods. They're playing around with us. They're moving things around. There's good and bad ones, so, or however you want to look at it. So they are playing with us, and the more we become more aware, it does help make peace with them, make peace with ourselves. And the manipulations are definitely, you know, like the music industry and all that. They just put in your face with the symbolism, who they're working for, and it goes these big companies, Microsoft, a lot of these big companies, for one, but a lot of these big companies are connected to a lot of this also. You know, if they have government contracts, most likely they're sold out basically. Unfortunately, it's appreciating it. Sony, yeah. Anybody else want to jump in on that?
Yeah, the Illuminati. It's also, they're not all humans. And we think of it as just these bankers, central bankers. There's a lot of aliens in it, and it's a galactic order. They're not just based on Earth. They didn't come from Earth originally. It was brought to us, that way of that ideology, that organization. So it has off-planet origins, and humans have incorporated it, and it's taken over the planet, unfortunately. But also, fortunately, they are not all bad. There's different factions, different groups, and not all of them are negative. There's a light side. There's duality within them. There's just, we experience most of the negative here because that's what rules our planet right now. We're a fear-based society, so they have precedence over, that's how they control, that's what works here. So we experience a lot of the negative. But and all these symbols, you see, they didn't create these symbols. They hijacked these symbols. They're not their symbols. Symbols are the symbolism. These symbols they use, it's the power you put into it. What you send the symbols, it gives them their power. You know, if you believe a symbol is negative, then it will be negative because that's the energy you're feeding it. So, you know, it's in your face. If you can recognize these things, it's in your face everywhere. But unfortunately, it has gotten a very negative reputation because of the powers that control this planet. But it is not all negative. If you are interested in that sort of the thing, don't get absorbed into the negative aspects entirely. Realize, you know, don't hate them. There's positive ones out there too, and you can discover those.
I think also when you're talking about the bloodlines, you know, the families, even the human part of the Illuminati definitely has alien alliance and alien blood. Some of these bloodlines are ancient. They come from alien hybrids, and this could be traced all the way back to Atlantis and Egypt, maybe Egypt more than Atlantis times. And as far as the negative and the positive aspect of the Illuminati, of course, everything is a balance. Just like within ourselves, we have, you know, our darkness and our light, and we're trying to balance it out. Same goes with organizations like the Illuminati, and not just sending light to the light side, but also loving as a whole, whether it's the dark or the light, is going to be the most beneficial for us and for our ascension. You know, we always talk about how can we speed it up? How could we, you know, see aliens soon? A lot of that work has to go into it. It's not just going to happen because you want it to happen or you're intending for it. You also do have to do the work.
Yeah, that's true. Whether they're positive or negative, we allow this to go on, the people. And you can look at it from a different point of view. They enhance the experience. They're accelerating it by all the stuff they do. I mean, it's really in your face now. I mean, you can see it. It's accelerating the planet in one way or the other. It's making people wake up in, you know, the way that we've collectively chose. So you can look at it as they are here, and they do serve a purpose. Even the negative ones, they're here in this experience with us for a reason, to help accelerate us. You know, it is negative what we're going through, but that was all by design. You know, humans, this is a grand experiment that we're of consciousness, and we chose this, so they serve a purpose. That's why it's important. You can dislike the actions, but don't hate the individual.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, even with negative reptilians, be friends with them. I mean, you might not like what they do, or any negative people for that matter. Especially when you drive and all that. Man, that's probably where most of the negativity comes from, is on the road. Oh, jeez, that's the truth of it. That's a hard.
So true, Ivan. Everything happens to me when I'm driving, just like you. Why is that?
Yeah. It's hard. It's very hard. Just take all the back streets. I don't know what to do about that, you know.
Don't ever go on a busy street.
Yeah, sometimes I do that because it's so busy. It's just like, man, well, this is a small area, you know. But yeah, it's yeah, that's a big test. But yeah, definitely test. There's something I was gonna say because I slipped my mind. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, with all these situations, and you know, and the egos are dealing with, it's very difficult to discipline yourself. But no, yeah, it's very, very hard to. It's hard to. It's, you know, we're all going through all these lessons. We're all, you can feel like we're being butchered in some regard, but we are. But yeah, they're using entertainment. They're using those of high wealth. Isn't this what you want to be? You know, but they're so disconnected spiritually, you know, to their own abilities, basically. You want to call it spiritual, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, you have all these abilities and money that is just something so you can buy stuff and live in a house. But I believe people that are very wealthy have become more, as more people connect more to their abilities. I'm super jealous of those that are connected. You know, like magicians that you see right now, David Blaine and others that are out there, and you know, they might call it evil right now, but eventually I think that'll be, once more people connect with their abilities, money won't feel like it's worth anything. So, you know, well, ways for that, but it's definitely the future.
You know, I read something on the YouTube live feed, someone saying, why do you think the elites hate us so much? I don't believe they hate us so much. I believe that they've been ruling and controlling they don't really think much of us. We're just a worker bee race. We're helping them achieve their goal. They don't hate us or love us. What they care about is their bottom line, which is staying in power and living their dream. So we're just helping them manifest. The best explaining this is, I think there's a movie called The Bees, or it's about bees. That's the best way to describe what's happening. It's an animated movie, Ivan. It's I think it's called The Bee Movie with Seinfeld.
No, it's a Bug's Life. The Bug's Life. Oh, the Bee movie. Oh, I don't know anything about.
Oh, that's such an awesome movie because
The Bug's Life is like the Illuminati. Yeah.
Right, or Ants even. Ants. There's so many movies out there that are there to like give us messages and open us up to what's happening. TV and movies and Hollywood is not all about programming you to think a certain way. There's good movies out there that can maybe shift the way you see things or the way you perceive things. But sometimes, you know, they're just hard to find. You have to read between the lines. But basically, that's what we are. We are the worker bee race. They don't hate us. They need us, in fact, and they fear us too because we outnumber them, and they are so afraid that, you know, more of us are starting to wake up and they're losing their grip, that they're doing desperate measures. They're taking desperate measures, but hate has nothing to do with it. Another thing I wanted to address is just offering a different point of view of how you can love the dark. Is they're all of God. God has, or prime creator, or source energy. Darkness and light comes from source. And so when source energy says, love and respect all living beings, that includes the dark also. The dark has their purpose, just like how, you know, we have our purpose in our duality. And so that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah, you can love and respect the dark, but you don't have to tolerate it. If you don't want it in your space, you have a right to be comfortable and not messed with. That, you know, you're a sovereign being, but you show respect. and but you don't have to tolerate negative actions if you don't prefer that or that kind of energy in your life. You don't have to tolerate people messing with you, but you can do it in a respectful way, so you don't become the very thing that you're trying to get away from. That's a lot of trick of the dark. It wants to make you like them, and that's just another form of manipulation. But these elites, yeah, they don't. The negative ones, they don't see us as even human beings. They see us as subhumans. We're not even human in their eyes. They are the true humans, the species, and we're just defective. So they don't really hate us. They do have a disdain for the general public and our ideology, and they do fear us too. But most of them, they don't. They think of us as like a virus, a defect. We're subhuman. So, and that's why they still need us at this point. But that's why you hear things about cyborgs and robots. They do. They want the Georgia Guidestones, getting the population down. That's because they don't think of us as subhumans. We're just like cattle. We're workers. We're like a horse, and they're trying to phase us out because they think they're the chosen elite and they're the future of the human race, which is total garbage. But that's one of their perceptions.
So I have a question for both of you, and I read this off the live feed. You think it's in their genetics and their DNA to be negative?
I think it's a personal choice. They just like the vibration from negative. They just enjoy it so much. And when Joe said about we're subhumans, I saw like their visualization of us as like a pig pen. Feel like way they look at us. Not of course a little bit more civilized in some regard, not by much though, but in some regards. So, because we eat anything, we believe anything that we're fed, usually, not always. So it's like what I got also is like sometimes the elite, any positive and negative, they're both like in awe. Like sometimes we fall for some of the stupidest stuff, is what I'm getting. Sometimes they're like, I can't believe they just fell for that. Great.
That's exactly true. That's They tell us exactly what they're doing to us. The information's out there, and we do it anyway. And if we're stupid enough, because they live by these metaphysical rules, they got to tell you before they poison you or try to do something bad to you. They tell you, they admit it, what they're doing. You just have to read the white papers, look at what they're doing. They tell you, but we're so stupid, most of us, we just go along with it. So they think we deserve it. If they're that stupid, they're doing it to themselves, really. So that's how they see it. But the truth of it is they're deceiving us, but it's part of our experience to learn these lessons, to be, intelligent, to have true intelligence, to analyze things, and not just to be ignorant and to want to just, it's all about being aware and raising us to the next level, because an irresponsible race will never ascend. We have to become responsible as a species.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's trusting your abilities, also getting used to them, your messages that come to you. Some are thinking maybe it's just all in my mind. It's not really me, but it's actually your guides, and it's part of you talking to you and getting you out of this, you can say, funk. And it's difficult to believe and trust in all of that. It's very, and imagine the world doing that more, connecting more to themselves and revealing the CEO. We didn't talk about byproducts and stuff. We were talking about the Illuminati and stuff. But, I do feel a shift in the underground governments. I did see an image of a president, not the one that we got, another one. Never see his face. I think I've been around him once. I'll have some of that to be remembered. And I did have, not to be political, did have dreams about Trump, so it must be like a Nordic version of me is around him a lot. Yeah, go for Trump 2017. That's not what this. Anybody else? Anyway.
Well, I guess since you brought Trump up, Here's my don't even start.
I'm gonna step
Here's-
out. I'm gonna turn my video
Here's
off.
wait. Here's my take on it. No, I think he's great. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his ideology or what he's doing, but I do believe he's here to shake things up. And sometimes we need to be shaken to wake up. Either, you know, you're going to be a believer or you're going to finally like stand up for what you believe in. You know what I mean? Either way, it's a movement, and it's a hell of a lot better than staying dormant. And that's my opinion. He does represent change. Whether I like it or not, that's the truth of the matter. And so I will give him that much. That's my opinion.
Yeah, he definitely is changing. He's shaking everything up, and that's what we need. You know, how else are we going to find out what we truly want unless things change? Shake things up, get them to the surface, get to talking about it, the dialogue, spread the awareness. You know, everybody needs to. Everybody's entitled to their own belief and opinion, and you know, bringing these topics up will bring attention to it, and people will research it and become informed. So that's a positive thing.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely definitely the politics. It does play a role, of course, when the negativity is around it, so nobody wants to really connect with it, want to ignore it. But it is part of our Earth balance. You know, it is. It connects everybody together. Okay, the version we have is a very low version of it, and the idea is to raise that. But you know, fear and I mean, I believe there will be a time when people start connecting more to their guides and not be afraid of it so much. That was another thing I wanted to mention. That's right. Like in the past, it's been war. It's been, you know, it's hard. We weren't really part of the, the Earth's past. You know, it was war after war after war through history, basically. And obviously, not all the time, but a good amount of it. And now we're in a time of technology that just sort of came to us from nowhere. You know, we're just so smart. We invented it all. I don't believe that. I believe some of it was given to us. I think some of the Greys gave us the technology. They didn't always prepare us for what we're getting, but also other beings contributed through downloads, through Tesla, through other other inventors and things like that. So this tells you we're in the ascension process, just with our technology. Of course, World War II was another way of ascension, and of course, we were using a lot of stuff from the World War II. I think our highways are inspired by the Nazis, if I read that right. So you know, space program and on and on and on. So you know, but you know, either way, we're on our way to, you know, transform, and yeah, there are big changes coming though. That's all I know. I don't know the details of it, but it also seems like disclosure also of the space program, the secret one. I think it's come through channels, but also somehow we're going to start knowing more about this stuff eventually. I'm not sure in our lifetime, but it's going to become more known somehow. So, you know, and the more you connect with it, like with your own abilities, just follow your instincts. So, you know, yeah, there's this stranger it is. It's hard to believe. That's for sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I do feel like not only is it going to be in our lifetime, but maybe within the next 3 decades, NASA, as we know it, is going to probably catch up a little bit to the secret space program as far as finding planets with life on it. Not necessarily like going out there to visit these planets, even though I believe we do have the technology for that with the help of our aliens. They're not there yet, but at least the word will get out. You know, there will be a planet that has life on it. More than one planet will be discovered. I do feel that. I'm not sure where it comes from, but I think that is coming soon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't like to make predictions. I don't buy into predictions because so often the energy changes, and it's just it's tiring. But I do feel that it will be in our lifetimes, disclosure. So I'm hopeful for that, and I'm hopeful for the positive. I believe this will all turn out in the positive. The humans eventually, maybe this not in our lifetime, but I do believe in the end humans will ascend and will be a united species and part of the galactic and community. I do believe that eventually. That may not happen in our lifetimes, but I do believe disclosure will happen, in the next 10 to 30 years. I do believe that will happen, but that's just my opinion. I don't know, but I'm hopeful that that will be the case.
Well, yeah, it's not about prediction. It's just what I am feeling. The vibration that I feel is that if not like the whole world knowing about aliens, I know that there's going to be something that's going to be released because it's all building up right now. We're all waking up. There's more and more people waking up every day. I know something's got to give. There's going to be something out there. The media and the shadow elites, they are, cornered, and I know something is going to happen. I just don't know to what capacity. But for sure, if not disclosure on aliens, at least they're going to say, oh yeah, we found a planet, which they've known about for decades. They know there's life out there. There's catalogs of aliens that have been working with the government, that the CIA has. There's Majestic 12. There's all these organizations, the Men in Black, that communicate with aliens all the time. Oh, they are. Some of them are aliens. And so, yeah, there's going to be a leak. And there's been other whistleblowers, too, that have come forward, but just don't get much coverage. I think all that is going to get light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Okay. Well, I view it as an inevitability because so many things have come out over the last, my entire lifetime, and then even longer than that. This thing isn't going away. It's only getting more popular. People are seeing more and more ships. It's getting talked about more and more. It's inevitability. They can't contain it. The most they can do is try to control the narrative. And I believe that they will try to do that, but that'll even fail because it's only getting more popular. People are through connection mediums like this, the internet, people are communicating with each other like never before, making videos, sharing their experiences. So even if some people watch it as a joke, or it's still in their subconscious, it's getting popular. You see the movies; they're all sci-fi movies out there. Everyone knows about the idea of aliens, and we know the scale of the perceivable universe just from our planet, and it's a mathematical probability that there's life out there somewhere. So people are getting more and more open to the concept, and actually, they may not believe you when you tell them you have an experience, but they'll say, well, it's possible. So that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, this planet you're talking about, what is it? What is it, our solar system, or?
No, it's going to be like somewhere out of reach where we can't even travel or see it on, whatever, their devices. Well, they'll be able to see it, but it's going to be so out of reach. It's going to happen on a scale like that. If they say, oh, there's life on Mars, then that puts the pressure on the government to we can travel to Mars and see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know why I felt like in Nabaru, when you said that, it's like, geez.
That's probably, isn't it on orbit right now? Like the way that Nibiru orbits, it's such a huge elliptical orbit. Mm-hmm. It takes thousands of years to come around, our sun and our solar system. And I believe it has already 2012 entered the solar system. And so I don't know where in regards to that it is right now, but I imagine it's around.
Yeah.
Closer than ever. So yeah, that's probably why you're picking up on it.
When you said that, it's like,
I think the orbit is 26,000 years or something ridiculous like that. And I knew the Anunnaki come from that planet, if not all, most of them. And their lifespan is 10,000. I can't imagine living 10,000 years. Those guys never die.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think when it gets close enough, we should consider nuking it.
You would say that, Joe.
Yeah.
What
Uh, it
happens
was
in love and light, man?
it
Let's
was-
send
it
it
was-
light and healing. That's
it
my.
was it's a joke. My sense of humor. That's
I
all.
know. I love your sense of
No,
humor.
there's something better. Build a McDonald's on it.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
thought you would
a
say
better
Walmart
idea.
for some reason.
Walmart too. Put all that stuff there.
Yep. Yep.
Turn them into us.
Yep. McDonald's, Walmart. We'll give them the best of planet Earth.
Exactly. Just
Give them Earth's finest experience. Give them
Exactly.
McDonald's and Walmart. It's great.
And they do run our money system. I do feel that.
Yeah, let them have it. Why
They
not?
run their own money system too.
Yeah, they do. The Illuminati is the face of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki control through finance. The Illuminati primarily through science and religion, but they have their financial means as well. But it's all connected. So.
Well, yeah, because money brings in fear. It makes us feel limited.
Yep.
Has a lot of control.
It divides us into social classes.
Exactly. Yeah,
you got the elite, the upper class, the middle class, the poor. It's all divide.
Well, yeah, like what many have said in the past, we all I imagine it was Atlantis. I haven't quite connected to all of it, but that's when we decided to go to sleep. To go through all this. Because we weren't. From what I got, is that we're a pretty advanced human. Well, I don't know if I was around part of that, but anyway, humanity was pretty advanced, but we needed to learn a lot. So, what better way than to forget everything and go into this what we're in now?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with Atlantis. It's a repeat, and we're trying to get it right this time. So
Exactly. Yeah, it's like we're going to awakening, so we're rebuilding. Well, sort of. Well, we're on our way to rebuilding it, you can say.
Yeah. It's a lesson on a planetary scale.
Yes. Exactly. It's Lemuria, Atlantis. I imagine there are other places. There's also this story, kind of throwing this in there about civilizations before Atlantis. I did pick up on giants. Maybe giants are in the dinosaur age. It's possible. I just feel bigger people. I'm not saying like giant. What giant people though were around. So I'm not sure where a lot of stuff was cleaned up. So we have no record of it, but I'm not sure the details of all of that, but I just feel like there's something like that.
Yeah, I got that too. I don't know the details, but what I got is this isn't the first time this has happened, but this is the first time I hope it succeeds. It's been an experiment that's happened many times and it's failed, but this time, it's a repeat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my take on the dinosaurs, and this is primarily, I think I told Ivan, you about it. When they walked the earth, humans were around as well as aliens. I don't know which time period it was, whether it's Atlantis, Lemuria, Sumeria, I have no idea. But it wasn't obviously the meteor that hit the earth that destroyed them, because that should have destroyed everyone, not just the dinosaurs. They were exterminated. I believe that they were brought here by the Anunnaki to do whatever it is they wanted them to do. I'm not exactly clear what that was, just like how they used humans to mine their golds for them. The dinosaurs also had their purpose. Once they served their purpose, they were exterminated. That's the way that I saw it in my meditation. And I don't know if that resonates well with you guys, but that's how I feel it.
Yeah, I got it. Something about the dinosaurs brought here to show other beings, we own this place. This is, we're here first, or whatever you want to call it. I do feel insectoids are here also, giant ones. So that's been erased. Of course, it's not hard to erase their presence here. Not, they don't have any bones or anything, for it, I know. So, but a lot of things in the history have been erased, you know, for us to go through this test. But obviously, we have temples and a lot of mysteries, the pyramids. So that's, you know, that's for us to give us memories, sort of, you know. Remember, there's another time that, you know.
A lot of it was erased and rewritten, but also there's been evidence left on this earth precisely for us to remember some of this stuff. It wasn't completely wiped off, and these artifacts or evidences are in certain areas of the world, especially in Babylonia or what modern day Iraq or Iran. There's a lot there. That's why there's so much of a power struggle and war happening there. A lot of it is being destroyed, but not all of it. There's other areas that are sinking, like the Maldives, I believe, have a lot of this evidence. In the South Antarctic region, there's a lot of evidence there that's buried. And so it's not a total lost cause. I think it's now we are in the time of discovery, self-discovery, and we can do that through our history. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like some of Atlantis was put in Antarctica. So I don't believe Antarctica is Atlantis, but it does feel like some of it was hidden from us they have their reasons. But with the pyramids and, you know, Giza still existing, should tell you something, because the way our world is, we blow those things up in no time, you know. So there's something around there that's protecting it. You know, they need to be there from what I feel like it is.
Well, they serve a purpose still. They have a purpose.
Yeah. So that right there should tell you there's something here going on. I mean, look. We don't have any meteor showers hitting our planet. There's a lot of alien energies that are helping us. All these movies scaring us about asteroids, Armageddon, and all that. None of that's.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And solar flares, they protect us from solar flares a lot of the times too.
Exactly.
Solar flares are fairly common. It's only been fairly recent in our history that we've had an electrical power grid. Yeah. Imagine if an actual powerful solar flare hit the planet, it'd fry everything.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
So that should tell you something right there. Something's here. So we're worth saving. That's good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know there's been other planets that have been destroyed by various different alien groups, but that is not allowed for Gaia. Gaia is not allowed to be destroyed. It's already been determined. So keep your thoughts positive and know that it's not allowed to happen. And it won't happen. And we have many of our galactic families and angels and other beings that are here to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, just the fact that there's such a presence, an alien presence, and all these beings here shows you that there's a great interest here, great potential. These beings, they wouldn't waste their time if there wasn't great potential and a strong possibility for us to fulfill our potential.
Yes, definitely. Does anybody have, how long do you guys want to go? A little bit longer?
I'm good. I don't know. Did we cover everything we said we were going to talk about? I think we did.
Well, we can do others.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can do this again. We don't have to do it all in one day. So.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah,
save the world.
for sure. I think we covered a good chunk of what we think the ascension is, and our past, and our present, and our future. So it's a good place to stop.
Well, yeah, just the vibration is, like the cabal. I don't put anger, hate towards them. Just understanding would help. Because that's, some people like to hate on them. I believe it's in our media somewhere. I'm not going to mention names. Complain about the elite and want to, go after them with that or something like that. But that's not the way how you heal a wounded society. about learning those abilities, and it takes a lot of getting used to for all of this. So, anyway, anybody like to any last words or anything?
It's trucking along, in the words of Ivan
Trucking
Teller.
along.
Trucking
In
along.
the words of Ivan Teller, it's trucking along.
Yeah.
I do want to add, keep your thoughts positive. It might be hard to do so in some situations, and that's fine. You can surrender, but always find your way. Try to stay positive about and hopeful about whatever it is you're going through.
Yeah, and all these aliens are messing with us. We'll build Walmart on their world when we get out of here.
Yep. McDonald's, Starbucks, it's all coming to a world near you very soon.
Walmart needs to have an alien aisle first before we can build a Walmart anywhere. I think that's coming up anyway.
So, anybody want to advertise website or anything?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I think it's called Mraz Healing. I forget sometimes. That's terrible.
I know, I just threw that out there. Usually, I forget.
And I do have a website, MrazHealing.net. If you guys want to.
And we're working on Joe's stuff. I'll see what has something from over.
No, I don't have a website or anything. Or all I have is a YouTube channel. You can go take a look at it if you want. There's not much there. A few videos, but that's it.
Great. All right, you can go to Ivan Teller or find me right here. So, ivanteller.com. So I get better. Oh, man. All right, I better get out of here. Okay. All right. Blessings. Good night, all. And sweet dreams.